I'm confessing that I love you. Tell me, do you love me too? I'm confessing.
What is kindness?
I need
I think my definition of kindness is to always lead with love under all circumstances. But more than anything, I think kindness really revolves around being present with someone.
Our guest is currently in the bathroom. We won't do the reveal just yet, but she doesn't know that there is a Elsa fan. I'm going to just be like a total fan for her because Elsa is my hero.
She's the hero, and
I don't know about you.
this is the 36th episode of the Vibe Union podcast, and Minti is about to spring Gretel Scarlett with quite the surprise.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! It's Elsa! It's Elsa! Oh my god, guys! It's Elsa! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh god! God! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Go! 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 Woo! Oh
You're
my
a bad
god!
girl. You're a bad girl.
I've got the cup. And I've got.
Actually, stop it.
Yes.
I was like, is this actual merchandise? I was like, please tell me what is going on. Oh my god.
I haven't got blonde locks like you, babe, but my
I look
locks.
I know that's the one thing everyone goes is like I walk out stage door because our Australian Elsa is Gemma Ricks, right? Who was a beautiful friend of mine that I used to understudy as Elphaba in Wicked. So she's our Elsa, but sometimes she gets out stage door and like runs away because she's got red hair, and I walk out and everyone's like, Elsa. I was like, it's not me today. It was her. So I'm like, run after her. Like,
The perfect distraction.
Right, I'm a
Yeah.
scapegoat. I was like, yeah, great, thank you.
Every
So
time.
good. I love your hat.
Quietly loving it.
The hat.
Thank
It
you,
looks
thank
beautiful.
you, darling. We, as you may well know, we have started recording. So
Fantastic. Yes.
welcome.
Thank you.
I love it. We can use the mic. We can use the camera, can't we?
I know.
Welcome,
Have
You
the
can
camera
get
on.
right
Gretel
in there.
Scarlett.
We're like, hi, I can see all your faces.
You can.
Wonderful Australian actor, performer. Faces of many.
Triple threat.
Triple threat.
Loving that.
Whatever that is. No.
I was
Thank you
going
so
to say
much
something, but
for-
I held back.
It's good. I like it. I like it a lot.
Thanks for
But yes,
joining
we'd
us
like to say
today,
thank you.
Gretel. Yeah,
Yes.
it's so
No,
nice.
Thank you for
Absolutely.
having me.
The fact that we
Thank
can't do it
you.
in the flesh is unfortunate, but this
Yeah.
is
I know.
almost enough. I think we're going to be able to ride through nicely.
Welcome
Absolutely.
to
And on that-
2021.
Absolutely. And on that note, I'd just like to start with an acknowledgement. So I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we all gather here today on this online platform, wherever you might be and wherever you might be viewing this and with whatever clothing you might be viewing it in. But I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we gather, the Wurundjeri and Wurrung people of the Kulin Nation. And with all of you here, I would like to pay my respects to their elders past, present, and emerging.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Let's get
Minti.
started.
Thank
No
you so much for
worries.
that.
Also remember, Vibe Union is an ever-present collective doing and creating many things, forever
Mm.
sustained by the people who are involved in both the internal and external matter. Many things that we're doing, you can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. The reason why you want to do this is because every month we've got Talking Blue at Blue Bar on Chapel Street. Wednesday night, every second Wednesday night, spoken word poetry headed by the MC host, the brilliant Jason, also known as User Unknown. And also, Minti, am I right in saying that we've got Dusty sessions at Bar 303 on
We
the
have absolutely.
on the 14th of August? Is that a Saturday? Is that right?
Saturday, my friends. That is
Oh.
a day to be enjoying some dusty sessions because let's face it, it's going to feel dusty by the time we get back into live art. So
Yes.
yes,
Do you know
we
who's
have a lot of
playing by
things going on.
chance on that night? Do you know who's on the lineup?
I know Libby Ingalls is going to be playing, and
outs.
I believe there's a new artist that they've curated. I'm not entirely sure of her name. I've heard rumblings of a name. I know that she plays electric guitar.
She
She's
does.
really fierce.
She's fierce.
Yes.
Her name is Erin from Cryptic Colour.
Cryptic
who also-
Colour, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, who also played at
Have
one
you
of
heard
our
of them,
live
Gretel?
bird lounge sessions.
Haven't.
She's an
It's
up and coming groovy star. So
Vibe Union,
Yes.
Vibe Union go to the depths of the underground to find people that are completely unknown, but are completely God mode when it comes to talent and wonder.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
We need that.
Yeah.
We need that.
Yes.
It's
yes.
and I think a really important thing too to mention, Dilly, is that this space has come out of like needing to connect with people and needing to feel accepted, and instead of it being from a place of negative competitiveness, it's has been sprouted from a positive competitiveness, which is to encourage and to build up and to goad each other in a way that makes you want to create, and not because you've been ripped to shreds and you've got to prove that person wrong.
We're all
So
about
it's a little bit
unlocking the
about Vibe
potential
Union.
of the people around us, giving people permission.
Yes, you've got your blue scissors. That was his own, like, Dilly, do you have anything blue? And he's
I got
like,
nothing blue.
I have scissors.
I'm a Melbourneian.
I was going to wear blue. That's so funny. And I
Oh.
was like, no.
It was a
Guys, my
minty
day
last
off.
minute memo.
I could have worn blue.
That's okay.
All right, last thing I need to
that
plug.
you're blue every other day.
Last thing I need to plug before we get into the what some people might call not vegetarians, they're the meat and potatoes of it. One last thing to plug is State of Oscillation. Last Sunday of every month, is that right, Minty? Does that sound about right to you, or who knows?
Yes, that's right. Yes, last Sunday of every month. Yeah.
Cool. And what happens at State of Oscillation, Minty?
So at State of Oscillation, it is something that you have never experienced before. Gretel, I reckon you'd really dig this as well. We do
interesting.
house music, techno, but there's kind of like some world-based beats as well. It's quite eclectic. We have a few amazing young DJs that play their sets, and as their sets are being played there is live art. Now, this is culminating at a place called Radio Bar in Fitzroy, which is a really kind of grungy, there's a lot of like graffiti around. It's got a real vibe, and so the DJs are playing within that incredible vibe, and then to top that off, we have live art happening usually at the back of the space, and people can come in, they can enjoy the vibe, they can grab a drink and enjoy the hospitality of the people who are working there, who are amazing.
Great people.
Paul and Carmen, big shout out to them. They are legends. And you can come and you can do some art and you can have a great time, and people have
Wow,
to
how
rave
awesome.
about it.
On a
Yeah,
massive
That's
canvas.
get
incredible.
drunk and paint.
That's really good. Get drunk and paint. It's what everyone wants to do.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
absolutely. People
So
who
good.
are loving it, man. They were getting
That's such
like,
a cool.
just
That's such
on
a
off.
cool collaborative space for creatives who are especially trying to keep their art alive during this time. How awesome! Really,
Absolutely.
really cool. Nice shout out. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got DJ.
And that was our last one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's our last one. So DJ AB, DJ Wrath, and
Georgie.
what's Martini's new? What's it? STP, DJ STP.
That's the one.
We got
STP.
it. STP. All right, beautiful. Minty, please. We've done the
Amazing.
shout outs. Let's get to it. Let's get to
Yes.
the essence. Talk to us.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Yes.
Or the faux meat and potatoes, depending on if you're vegetarian or
Falafel, perhaps.
Or tofu. Thank you. Yes,
Go to
tofu
tofu.
is-
Go to tofu.
Yeah.
Or the portobello
I
mushroom.
I wish I had one on hand. I would have done, but I've left it in the kitchen. So let's just get right into it. So just for a bit of context for those outside who are jumping in and listening to our podcast, Gretel and I have known each other for a long time.
Too long.
We're not gonna say when.
no.
Sometime back in the 1800s.
Let's leave the stabs to later in the episode.
I've gone back to, yeah, okay. Oh, fair enough. So we've known each other a long time, and we've coming in and out of each other's lives throughout the time that we've been graduated. And we have come into each other's lives again, and it was over a very, very interesting topic, a very simple but very complex topic, and that is kindness. And I had the most incredible conversation with Gretel, with you, Gretel, and that really sparked my desire to want to open up the floor on this conversation and actually just get people involved much more externally, you know, so that it doesn't just stay locked away, but that it actually gets shared. So that's going to bring me to my first question. What to you is kindness?
I'm so glad that we touched on this topic very recently. And I love that we do connect on this level where we come and go from each other's lives and we see each other at random times and we follow each other. We've kept in each other's journeys, and they've been different, but yet I do believe we have always connected on this level. And that's in response to this question, what is kindness? I think my definition of kindness is to always lead with love under all circumstances. But more than anything, I think kindness really revolves around being present with someone. It's where you are 100% listening and learning and engaging and appreciating the time that you are sharing with that person in that space. And I think if we all led with that concept, we ourselves would be better people, because we're learning something from everyone that walks in our path. And by that's where I sort of sit with kindness. I think it's about presence in time and space with someone, but to always
Presence
start with love.
Presence in time and space with someone from a place of love.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like in a very rounded, it's so hard to define it because it is such a big umbrella term. Kindness has so many different angles. If you were to draw it on a mind map, if you said to a 6-year-old, hey, what does being kind mean to you? They would start putting words like sharing, caring, talking, playing,
helping,
having fun, helping. It comes from this place. It gets really complicated through this time of growing up into adulthood. It becomes a very different term for a lot of people, or we forget about those basic terms. But then once you get over this hump of your sort of self-centeredness and you come back to being able to open up to other people and hold that time and space that I was talking about, it starts to become more than sharing and more than caring. It's literally being present with someone, because that is sharing and caring. You're listening and you're responding. You're taking in what they're saying and you're leaving with something. You're learning something from every interaction that you have with someone or something.
I love that.
So
I love that point
that.
there.
Yeah,
I was going to say, it was
that.
kind of like where my mind was leading, a thing that I like to adopt when I'm, out and about talking, socializing with people, whether I know them or not, is like assume that they know something, that this other person knows something that you don't, and there's a worthwhile reason to the conversation.
Always. You never know who you are talking to. And judging a book by its cover is just, that is probably the complete opposite definition of kindness. Because you never know what someone is going to offer you. It could be the greatest piece of knowledge or information that you'll ever walk away with in life, and you turned your nose up at it because you thought that they knew nothing or they had nothing to give.
They had
made some
nothing to
silly
offer.
assumption.
Yeah.
My dad always said to me when I was younger that no matter who, and this is very much in line with what you're saying, Gretel, it doesn't matter who you're talking to. You could be talking to the person who picks up the cans from the gutter, or you could be talking to someone who works for, I don't know, like in Parliament, is really high up in
Yeah.
Parliament or something like that, or in a big CEO of a massive company,
Mhm.
you should be looking at them with the same level of kindness,
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
because it's actually, these are just functionalities that human beings do. They have
Yeah.
these functions,
Yep.
but our essence is our essence no matter what we do. You cannot hide a
Well,
person's essence.
Like I love this saying. I actually don't know the quote word for word, but it's basically we enter and exit this world exactly the same way. It's like
Right.
we're all, it doesn't matter
Naked and
if
alone.
you've got, exactly, it doesn't matter if you've got like $3 trillion or $0. At the end of the day, when you're born into this world, you are born exactly the same, and when you exit this world, you are born you are exiting exactly the same.
Everyone can get a corn. Everybody
Exactly.
can develop
Yes.
a corn.
Yeah.
Or get
Yes.
piles.
Yes. It's true. Yeah. It's like we're all the same. It doesn't like
So-
these other layers, they add to who we are as people and who we can be and how we can hold context with people, but it doesn't define us, and it doesn't make us any better than the guy in Parliament. It doesn't make us any better than the homeless guy on the street. It really doesn't, because that homeless guy might have gone to university and is now in debt. He might have went to a top 12 Ivy League school in America. You never know.
Or is
But
so
he's now in
disembarked
so
by
much
the
debt.
system that he's like
Yeah.
tapped
Yeah,
out.
correct. So
Yeah.
it's
And it
kind of
doesn't
like
make
you
the
can't
person
judge
either.
it. No. And I do remember, like, Dee, when we had met each other at university, I remember in that first week, I can see that you came from an upbringing like that, because there was 18 of us, and you treated all 17 other people in that course exactly the same. You were open and willing with everyone, and that was something that I was like, hang on, because I was the baby of the course. I was the youngest, and I was like, hang on, there's this person here who is just being in the moment with everyone, and that, I think that you were years beyond everyone in way of in the realm of kindness, and that read for me, and that was something that I was really like, oh, this is a person I can learn a lot from. So yes, talking about how many years we've known each other, it's really true, though. It really is.
It's funny because
so
one of our
yes.
questions was, when did you realize the importance of kindness? And it sounds like this
that
is
was
one of these
probably a
moments.
very big turning point. That was probably a very big turning point for me, because I was only like 17 going to university, and that was probably a very crucial time to even it was a very crucial time to either jump on the bandwagon of going into this realm of egotism, in this sort of like self-centered, very worried about career and profession and all this sort of stuff. That was one way to go. Or I could continue on the journey of wanting success, but also carrying with me the really important functions, which was what Dee had to offer for me at that point.
Thank you, Gretel.
Yeah,
That's
but I just remember that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank
I also,
you.
like, as a child growing up too, I was very, very lucky I come from a big family. So I have 5 brothers, and I had no sisters, and just my mum and dad. We had a simple life. We got by as best we could, with my dad being the only wage of income in the family. And so we had to work really hard. And that was also another thing growing up, where I started to realize that you do get further in life if you're just a nicer person, if you're just being kind to others, and understanding we all come from different backgrounds. That was a lot, but of course that's not enough to live your whole life on. You have to then be able to go, like, find it in people along the way, because you're not going to find it from everyone, and that's the sad part about this. It's a very sad part of this industry.
That actually is going to bring me to another question, Gretel. So feel free to answer any of these questions in a way that's comfortable for you. If there's anything you don't feel like sharing, don't, obviously. But we're all human as well. So my next question is, have there been any monumental times in your life that you've struggled with kindness, and how do you think you dealt with that, and how would you give advice for people to deal with that potential situation for them in the future?
Yep. Are you talking, just to clarify the question, are you more talking about me struggling with being kind or struggling with receiving it from someone?
Both. It can be receiving
Yeah.
kindness and giving
Yep.
kindness, because
Yeah.
we're all human and we've all had moments where when we've been unkind.
Absolutely. I find so moments that I've struggled being in times that I have felt I have struggled with being kind myself. I've had these moments where I've had to keep myself in check and sort of go, why do you feel that way? What is it that is making you not see this situation with kindness? What is it that's not making you see it with gratitude? I will jump ahead though and come back to this because I think it's a learning curve. So receiving kindness is really difficult in this industry. I'm going to be absolutely straight up. I mean, we're going to have an adult conversation about this. We are creatives. There is a lot of ego, so much ego that people start to define themselves by how great they are as musicians, singers, songwriters, performers, whatever it is, actors, actresses, dancers. We're all so self-absorbed and self-consumed in how wonderful we are. We're all looking at I shouldn't be saying we are, because this is again, it's an umbrella term, but there is a lot of people, a very large percentage of people, looking at using kindness as a way to manipulate their way to the top. This is what I have struggled with. And it has probably bit me on the butt in many ways. I have not probably got as many jobs as I potentially was probably quite talented for, because I didn't suck up to someone, or I didn't use them as my way of kindness. I didn't play the game, Dee. And it's been a really hard thing to come to terms with. I had a realization when I stepped away from the industry where I was like, oh, did I ever even want to play that game though? No, I never did. And it was like, in hindsight, my leading roles, I was cast as by international creatives, people who came in with blank canvases. They didn't know any performers in the room. They didn't know who went out for drinks with who. They didn't know who slept with who or who did what. And so just in hindsight, I'm like, hang on. And so that was really interesting to me, because I'm like, they came in with just open eyes and went, who's the best for the job? Who do we want to hire? Who do we want to work with? Who was in the room that was really fun and whatever? And I got those jobs. So that is where kindness in the industry can really get swallowed up. Going away for a while and I'd felt unwell. So that was my exit out of the industry, to take some time away. And whether in hindsight, the universe was making me sick for a reason, to say, Gretel, go away and deal with something.
Telling you.
I then got to meet a whole bunch of people from everywhere and anywhere. I was in LA for a bit. I was in Vancouver. I then was in Salt Lake City. I was in Massachusetts, in Boston. And it's like, I got to meet so many different people who really led with kindness. And I was
wonderful.
like, oh
I'm
my
going to
God.
pause you there for a second.
Yes.
Because this is a perfect segue.
Yeah.
Dilly,
Take it.
Can you please ask that beautiful question that you formulated earlier?
Yeah, of course. Thank you. What a setup. So you've been overseas. I'm imagining, and it sounds like you've had a bit of, you've experienced a difference in attitudes and mindsets, from people from different, obviously, backgrounds or cultures. Was there anything in particular that stuck out in terms of contrast between attitudes or mindsets, or anything that you learned that was different to how we operate here in Australia?
It's interesting because Australia. It's interesting because you think, okay, you go into the USA and they're a very
Proud.
very proud culture.
Mhm.
They will tell you how wonderful they are. They are so secure in saying, this is my resume. And we're like, as Australians, we're like, I did this show. You know, and just like, like I did this little thing.
Oh,
like,
you know, I don't want to be arrogant, but
did-
you know, I
I
played, for
played a
10,000
role in a
people.
show. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm sorry. And they're like, hey, yeah, like I you know, performed for 5 people, and you're like, but they're so proud of it. And I'm like, okay.
Yes. I worked in
This
Coles for 10 years.
Yes, it's like, okay. So you have to kind of learn to be like, be proud of the achievements that you have, that the things that make you, you know, that make your story.
Your
the things
story,
that
exactly.
have created your story. They don't define you, but they make your story.
Yeah.
I went overseas, and first of all, I got introduced to the hiking culture because I went for a wander from Canada to Mexico. So it was a 6-month trip of being alone, isolated by myself. It was a solo trip. I was a female from Australia figuring this stuff out. So I got to meet some people every so many days. I'd see like 17, like, I mean, you'd see every 17 days you might see someone, or every 7 days you might see someone. And learning to, what I got was when they'd say to me, hi, who are you? It wasn't, hi, my name is Gretel. I'm from Australia and I'm a music theatre performer and I've been a star of this. That didn't matter. I was just Gretel. I was, hi, my name's Gretel. I'm from Australia. I clearly was, because I have an accent. And then you just started to get to know people by, you know, you'd start from like, how's your day? What's going on? Yeah, where did you camp last night?
Bring out their vibes.
Yeah, you get out your vibe, and it's just like you talk about life and family and stuff like that. So most of those people on the trail hardly had any idea who I was, what I did for a living, because I started to hold conversation with people about the important things in life and start to work out what they valued, what they didn't value, their beliefs, their morals, what sort of upbringing they had, versus what are you good at, or what like, do you know what I mean?
What do
Like,
you
it didn't
do?
really.
What's the
What do you
do thing?
do?
What's the
Because
do
What is
thing?
your
doing things didn't
status?
matter. We were all on the same level. We were doing nothing right now. We were walking.
You're adventurers and travelers.
So it was like, we're travelers. So then obviously I got to go to hostels, and I got to hitchhike, and I got to sort of meet these people. So culturally over there, people are really interested. They're really interested in getting to know you. That was one thing I really found different about the whole process. You mattered as a person, not your credits, not who you've worked with. It was like, who are you right here in front of me?
What you feel, what you think.
Yes, correct. And so that's why I started to go,
Face value.
this is different. And so now back to the question before, you said like kindness, like, you know, where have I struggled with it? Coming back into the industry here in Australia, obviously COVID hit, I came back to Australia and I'm biding my time here. I've done Pippin and Frozen in the time that COVID shut down, those 2 musicals here. And I walked into both those shows with my arms open, and I was just like, I'm going to talk to everyone here as if this could be the last time I ever speak to them.
Right.
This could be, you know, this, I can learn so much from them. And even if I feel like they are, you know, being a little bit ego driven or something, holding time and space with that and going, okay, I want to listen to them because they haven't quite gotten over the hump of that yet. And I need to have kindness for that. Because they're still learning. They're still learning, and I can give my wisdom on it. I can give my advice, but by just being kind back to them and let them have their ego moment, they will hopefully be able to, in years to come, do that for someone else that they then see themselves in. And
well,
so
Gretel,
that's what I think I heard. Yeah.
On that, actually, that specifically, that whole idea of the game, I mean, that's something that everybody knew about at uni.
Yes.
And it was like the elephant in the room that we didn't discuss it, but
it's awful.
It's awful. And the thing is that it's a real tangible thing that hasn't changed, really.
It
has
hasn't
it?
changed, and it will never change, Dee. I had to think about this today
No.
because I was like, it will never change. It doesn't matter how much we try to teach the young generation, they're going to
Yeah.
go through the same situation, and then they'll get to the speed bump and they've got to get up and over it. And then they'll
Yeah.
realize, oh yeah, there was a game. Unfortunately, it comes with the industry, but
Mm,
it's where you have to do the work on yourself to make
Mm.
sure that you remain centered and grounded
yes.
and know your craft and know who you are. Don't apologize for who you are. Stand up for yourself, but also keep collaborating with people, keep talking to people, keep the conversation open, and talk to everyone, not just performers. We're talking backstage people, we're talking lighting, sound,
Yes.
dresses, the people who are working so much harder than our little jazz hands out on stage that keep the curtains up. It's like,
Yes.
those are the people, and they're the people that I talk to every day, on top of my company, of course, because they're wonderful, damn incredible people in the company, but the crew are also just as important, and they have so much more to offer because they've held so many more conversations with people over the time, because they
Yeah.
have the time backstage to do it, and you're like, oh god, I can learn so much from you. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's interesting. So just to sort of summarize everything that we've spoken about, I think, we've really, I honestly can't believe where the time has gone. We've got
I know, I'm
just
like, what?
7 minutes left.
Yeah.
I know.
But that's some really great advice.
Mm.
I think it is important to be, I guess, realistic that actually there are some things within human nature that may not change. So as long as you are trying to make sure that you are doing it for you, then hopefully that is then going to be keeping us more in line, because trying to help others keep in line and be accountable.
100%. And you've got to find the people in your life that are keepers, the people that you know will always approach you with love, the people you know that you are safe with. Better to have five people over here who are going to listen to you, you are going to listen back, you're going to learn from, they're going to keep you grounded, they're going to keep you real, than having 5,000 friends who are just arm's length but are pretending to be nice to each other and pretending to be kind.
Because they can get something out of it. It's you're friendly with someone because you don't have an expectation.
That's the hard thing to sift. That's the hard thing to sift through. That is really difficult. It's a really difficult thing to go, is this real kindness? Is this genuine?
Yes.
Versus,
do they want something?
Yes.
Do they want something, even if it's the smallest thing?
Yep.
Can they get something out of me?
But that doesn't mean that you have to be affected by it. As long as you're okay and just be like, that's okay. I recognize that this is the situation right now. And you remain grounded. Correct, though. Yeah.
You don't afford them too much
Amazing.
time. You just wait it out. You see how things play out, and you'll know in time whether they're worth the social investment. For me, what I've really taken away from this conversation is it's important to be in touch with your own story, and once you're in touch with your own story and you feel like you've worked on it and there's some meaning there, then leading with kindness is going to be easier and engaging with other people, because if you've got a sense of importance or or realness about your own story, then that's going to translate to other people.
Absolutely. And as creatives, at the end of the day, if you can be kind and you can know your own story and understand who you are as a person without all that other stuff, you will be a better performer. You'll be a better artist. You're going to be a better creative, because you're coming from a place of truth. And it doesn't matter. You might hit a bung note or you might, hit a bung chord. It's like, it doesn't, no one's going to care when they look at you and they go, oh my God, this person is coming from here.
You're being unapologetic.
Exactly.
Just being you. Yeah.
You want to see genuine. You want to see it's a real thing. And audiences know that, even if they're not creatives.
Yeah, they feel it. They feel it on a deeper level. Now, and I just wanted to also say as well, I really resonate with what you said just before, Gretel, about not wanting something from someone. And I haven't really thought about it properly in words now, but that is what my dad taught me, that talk to people because you guys have got something to offer each other, but it's not a transaction. You've got love that you can share with each other. And
Absolutely.
you don't need to, I'm not going to get anything from you. I don't care. I want to talk to you
No.
because I want to talk to you
No,
because I want to share
it's
the
always
love.
I believe it's always a bonus if you got something out of someone. You're like,
Yes.
oh my God, I
You
didn't
can-
realize that
That's
I
right.
would learn that from them. Yeah.
Exactly. And
it's
that's the
such a
biggest
bonus.
thing. Like when I was
Yeah.
in Uganda, I made a real effort to really try and just really connect and be and talk to everybody. And
Yep.
you know, people are incredible. People
They
have
are.
so much kindness and space and time,
Yeah.
even when they don't have it themselves.
Yep.
And speaking of space and time and respect, before we finish up, have you got any closing words, Dilly?
Gre-
3 minutes
Gretel,
and 20 seconds.
Gretel, so lovely
3
having
minutes,
you on
20
board.
seconds.
Is there anything that you'd like to plug, speak on, final
Yeah.
departing words? Please let them hear it.
Ooh, probably don't have anything to plug right now, considering I'm sitting at home waiting for the show to open
Except the
back up.
bath.
come see Frozen.
Right,
Yeah, true. So I think parting words is, yes, you never know who you're going to meet. You never know where you're going to end up. As much as we try to plan it out, we don't know where we're going to end up. But my biggest takeaway over these last few years for me is to be present, is to be in the moment.
Perfect.
We're always different. We're in different emotional spaces. And if you can hold my key words that I love to say is, if you can hold time and space with someone and share as much advice and as much just breathe with that person when they're talking and really make eye contact, you will grow from that. And living is just about growth. Being a performer is also about growth. Who wants to be the same performer that they were when they were 19? No one.
No way.
And if you do, good luck. Good luck. It's like, yeah, what a wonderful career. I'm like, oh, you want to grow. And even if you don't get, even if you lose notes in your range or whatever it is that, if you're a singer, you're still growing as a human. And I think that's the thing. If you are able to hold that time and space with someone and just be there, you will be able to be a better person at the end of the day, and you will grow.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Gretel.
Thank you so much, Gretel.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
on. I just wanted
Thanks,
to
guys.
say, before you disappear out of this beautiful Melbourne city that we're in, you must come along to one of our many Vibe Union events, both
Please.
online or in person. It would
Yep.
be lovely to share this vibe, this community kindness, with you. And I'd also just like to finally do a closing of ceremony. This is something
Please.
that I've been starting to do, which is, we do an opening, but I want to thank everybody for spending this time on stolen land. And I would like to continually pay my respects with all of you for elders past, present, and emerging, for whatever area or location that you are located, Australia-wide. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you all. Enjoy episode 36 of the Vibe Union podcast.
Oh, let it go.
It's the hat. The hat is just wild.
Let it go.
Just the top hat version of Let It Go.